Hello everyone, welcome back. And today we are back in Willow Creek renovating yet another base game build. We are in Pendulum View and we are almost done in this neighborhood. After this one, I think we only have the God's house. And if you want to check the other renovations, feel free to click the I button above for the whole playlist. But today we are in Parkshore. It's a traditional home with verandas and balconies galore. Yes, I read that off of the gallery because that is how it was described. Um, it's almost like a wraparound porch, really, and it's right across the Umbridge Manor, which we did on the last renovation, and it's just beside the God's house, which is why I also gave it a Victorian vibe. So this was originally green, and the houses in this neighborhood to be colorful, so the God's house would stand out. And I think green is fine. But when I tried out the blue siding, I was sold immediately, especially with the white accent. It's like a dollhouse, and I feel like it's more vibrant than the green one. Actually, when I was recording the cutscene and it was dark outside, all the lights are on around the house. It was really cold and it was really fun to watch. And I had to take a screenshot even though it was recording, so sorry in advance. But it was just really cool and I couldn't help it. Now, you'll see me change the windows multiple times, but I really wanted to use the arched ones instead of the usual, shuttered windows, which I already used multiple times in these renovations. But I think the arched ones gave it more of the dollhouse vibes, and also because the God's house have them, so I like the idea that it was built around the same time since they're close to each other. And actually, I almost use white siding before I settle on blue because it's like the complete opposite of the gothic black exterior we have next door. But I think it would just look like some of the previous builds I've done. So yeah, I opted for blue, and like I said, it's really cool. And I think this time it was easier to renovate this house compared to when I attempted to do it the first. I don't know, four times maybe. Yes, I did try to renovate them already and had to bulldoze them multiple times before. Yeah, but I think it's because I already have an idea of what I want to do. Some of it came from my previous attempts. Some would help with the surrounding like houses and area, and some of them I just kind of figured out along the way. And yeah, I think like the whole build, it was a total of about around 215 um thousand simoleons. So I'm sorry about that, but I mean it's a big house, so and this neighborhood is sort of like um one of the most expensive neighborhood to live in. And now this with this whole lot of verandas and balconies, I was fighting the urge to fill them in with seeds and plants and all, but we already did that as well in other builds, so I managed to hold off. We have a few of them, which I think is sensible choice. um and we also have like a seating area at the top, which is like a dining area almost. I mean, it's a dining table and it's right in front of the house, which may not be ideal, but it could be like a good hangout area if you want the people watch or wait for the streetcar, which I did according to tour. And yeah, going inside, most of it has like the traditional furniture, which of course came with the base game. We have like the Victorian style and all, so it's a mix of that, especially downstairs with the living and dining room. Also, I decided to close off the living room because it would make sense in this type of build, which caused us to have a massive entrance hall, but we managed to fill them in. It's still quite massive, but I think it's fine. And yeah, it's a classic beige as well in the hallway and the living room. I know it's boring, and trust me, I tried different wallpapers as well, but with the busy patterns of the furnitures, I think it just makes sense. We do have wallpaper and paneling in other rooms, but yeah, in the hallway, I opted for like a neutral color, and we also have dark flooring. And I already I tried like a like more of like a light wood color, but I always find it hard to look for like a matching um stairs and railings. So I always tend to use like dark flooring. But yeah, well, in base game at least, because in if we have like all the packs, it's easier. We have like the matching ones, so it's easy to find like like a matching floor with the stairs and all. And the kitchen, I would say, is what I usually see in this style of houses. I wanted to use the new kitchen counters that came with the free update, like those shaker ones, but I reckon it's not going to fit the style of the house. I also didn't go for that usual kitchen island with a stool, and I opted for a kitchen block instead. And I also think like having stools is not going to fit. It's not really like the kitchen's not really narrow, but I just don't think it won't fit. And with the base game tables, we can't really place tools. I mean, we could, but um it's not going to be well. It's still going to be usable, but it's not going to like work in a way that we want to, unless it's the block or the table block from um Love Struck that works, because you can like the stools which is stick with the table, but with the base game ones we don't have that. Now the dining has a really interesting shape. It's that classic octagon shape. That's why I also gave it that Victorian vibe. And that's where I struggled with windows, because the ground floor has the middle wall height, whilst the top floor has the tallest one. Um, so of course it would make sense to use the taller windows, but it looked weird, so you'll see me adjust them throughout this video. And I know we have the medium height arch windows as well, which I did use eventually, but I don't know. It just looks weird to me. I mean, it's okay. It's not like really a big deal, and yeah, it just makes sense. But I don't know what it. I'm still not sure about it. Even after like renovate, like after the renovation is done and after recording this voiceover, but I think it still works. Now lots of windows means lots of curtains, and with these arch ones, we only have one curtain that fits. Luckily, the swatches are good, so I think we're fine with that. Now, moving on to the bedrooms, this is where it gets interesting. So, we have a total of three bedrooms and two baths. Now, when I tried to renovate it the first time, I added a room for a hallway. Um, yeah, I added a room for hallway bathroom, and the original bathroom I turned it into an ensuite. Well, actually, I think it was the kids' room, and the original hallway bathroom is what I turned into a kid's room. I kind of just adjusted the like how big it is, but yeah, the kid or the toddler room was supposed to be the ensuite bathroom, but it kind of made it hard for um I kind of made it hard for myself because it also affects the exterior. So I banned that idea and just went with the original floor plan. So now we don't have an ensuite, which I mean, of course, it's not really necessary. Um, but yeah, it's just well, I do it all the time as well. So I kind of like, okay, that's fine. We don't really need that. And yeah, I think um I I would prefer this floor plan, and I really like how it turned out as well. The room right above the dining room, of course, also has that funky shape. So windows everywhere. I turned it into a primary bedroom, which was my original plan, and like I said, it's where the ensuite bathroom was supposed to be, but I just added in a fireplace, which made me realize whilst doing this voiceover, I didn't place a chimney, so I'll have to go back to that later. But yeah, at first I was going to build like a built-in wardrobe, but we don't have a space for that in this room. I mean, I did try, but it made it look so like so weird because how tall the wall is, and also um like the room is big enough, but if you add in more like walls, it would just make it look like it's small. So even though it's like a primary bedroom, which is supposed to be bigger than the other rooms, but yeah, it didn't work out. So we just have like the usual chest of drawers, and I also since it's a funky shape, we have that weird um like corner. So I didn't want it to add like usually I would add a bookshelf, but since we already have a like a library, or well, not really a library but a study space, I opted not to add more bookshelf, which I mean you can never have too much bookshelf, but still I don't think it would have a space for it. And so I remember I rarely used a room divider, so I decided to use one of those instead. And yeah, I didn't really want to add um more plants as well because we don't have a lot of choices here, and we also have like plants already on the other side of the room. But yeah, the idea of having a built-in um, wardrobe was transferred to another room. So that would be the teenage bedroom. And of course, it's a teenage girl, so it's pink. And I know it's cliche, but hear me out. Most of the wallpaper we have has like floral print. The only curtain that fits this arched windows has a really pretty pink swatch, which I've been wanting to use. It has a space for a built-in wardrobe, which let's face it, if you have a teenage boy, it wouldn't be that useful in the real world. I mean, look, it's The Sims, but having a like a wardrobe for like a built-in wardrobe for a teenage boy, I just don't think it makes sense. I would prefer to have um like a gaming setup instead of a built-in wardrobe, but I already did that in other builds. So yeah, it was hard to build one though because the ceiling is too tall. Like again, so I had to figure out some wardrobe doors. I usually just well, at first, what I would do is what I plan to do is have like one door open and one door that is closed, to make it look more realistic. But I really can't have that because again, the walls are too tall, and yeah, so I had to figure out some wardrobe doors. And then we also have the really cool inflatable seat. in yet another pretty pink swatch, which I really wanted when I was a kid. So maybe I'm projecting, but it just makes sense, you know? So yeah, that's why I opted for a teenage girl bedroom, like in a cliche um color, which is pink. Um, and that is also why these bedroom has a mix of modern and traditional. Of course, I use the Princess Cordelia bed because that's like the most sensible bed that we have with base game, and that's where this room is also where I place the laptop. We have an office, but I prefer it to be more of like a writer's room. And in my head, if you're looking for something techy, this teenage girl would have it, you know? And the final bedroom is for a kid or for a child. I think in the original build it was meant for a toddler, but I didn't go with that idea because the room is too big for toddler stuff. I tried it, which is why I didn't include a video of me trying them out since it took me like a good half an hour to figure out what to do with the space. So in the end, I opted for a kid instead. And yes, it's for another girl because come on, we have to use the dollhouse, and we also have a massive space for it. So I would prefer to have like a girl uh kid than because I would I would prefer to have to make it look more aesthetically pleasing than having like a guy or a teeny or like a boy um in that room. But I mean, if you wish to add it to your game, you can always change it to anything really. I mean, it could be um another like room for maybe a guest room that would work as well. And then we have the office, um more like a study space because like I said, the idea here is it's more of like a writer's office. That's why we have the typewriter and all. And then I also added in a fireplace to make it more cozy. And yeah, we also have a wee sitting area at the end of the hallway leading outside because we can't place anything in the middle of the hall. We have like lots of windows there, so we can't really place anything. And like I said earlier, we have the seating area just outside, and I added it an easel on the other side because it's facing the river, so you have lots of um, inspiration for how to paint. And at first, I was going to add a telescope, but I think an easel would be better for income purposes. Now we have a massive space around the house, like literally all around. So I decided to add a wee driveway on the side and just, add in the like the live edit um car. And since the other entrance to the house is on that same side, that's where I have the gate to the backyard. And we also have a kid, so I placed a monkey bar there as well. We already have like a area next door, but I think they don't, I don't think they have a monkey bar today. I'm not sure, but I mean, with this house, and if you have a kid, it would make sense that you have one, and then a sand pit. Um, uh, I don't know if I think it's usable, right? Because it's part of the you have that sand. I think the what do you call that? It's called a sand uh, castle, like like a brush, like what you I don't know what you call it, but it's there. It's a small backyard, so we can only fit that sand pit and a picnic table, along with a small grill. But I fenced it in for privacy because we have a park again right next to the house, and again an open space on the other side, where I kept it open and I just added in a few planters. And originally there was a massive tree on this lot, so I kept it, and to make it look like it's open for public or part of like a public space, I added in a bench facing the river. And thinking about it, I forgot to add a chess table, which is my original plan, and the reason why I didn't add one inside the house. So I'll get back to that as well. But yeah, I really like how it turned out compared to my previous attempts. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. We are renovating the God's house next, so if you have some suggestions, let me know as well. And I think that is it for me. If you want to um, continue watching with us build, you can. I would really appreciate it, but you can skip to the tour at the end. Um, yeah, so that you can you can see how it turned out. And don't forget to like this video if you did, and subscribe to follow along this renovation. And thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in another one. Bye.